You know that feeling when you're about to throw a dinner party, you've got the perfect menu, the playlist is set, but you're staring at the back of your pantry wondering if your wine will sit at the right temperature? I've been there, scrolling through endless options, worrying that I'd spend a good chunk of cash on a unit that either takes up too much space or just won't keep my reds and whites where they need to be. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. That's why I wanted to break down the ORYMUSE 24-inch dual-zone wine and beverage refrigerator before you hit that add to cart button. First off, let's talk about why a dual-zone fridge matters in real life. Most casual wine lovers are fine with a single temperature, but once you start collecting both Pinot Noir and a crisp Sauvignon Blanc, you quickly notice the difference. The same goes for anyone who wants to keep a stash of craft beers or sodas alongside their wine. The ORYMUSE model gives you two completely independent temperature zones, so you can set one side to around 55°F for reds and the other to 45°F for whites, or even drop one side to a nearby fridge 38°F for cans. That flexibility is the core reason people invest in a dual-zone unit rather than a plain wine cooler. Now, what does this actually look like in the kitchen? The fridge stands 24 inches wide, about 70 inches tall, and holds roughly 180 cans or 77 standard wine bottles. The interior shelves are adjustable, so you can fit a mix of tall champagne bottles, short reds, and even a few six-packs of beer. I've seen it installed as a built-in under a countertop in a modern home bar, and I've also seen it sit freestanding in a corner of a dining room. The glass door swings open on a soft close hinge and is backlit with a blue LED that adds a subtle glow without being obnoxious. If you're the type who likes to see what's inside at a glance, the clear door does the job, and the LED lets you showcase the collection without turning on the whole kitchen light. The upgraded compressor is another practical point. In the past, I've owned a single-zone wine cooler that would cycle on and off constantly, making a low hum that was audible in a quiet room. The ORYMUSE's compressor is marketed as more powerful and efficient, and in practice that translates to steadier temperatures and less frequent cycling. For a host who keeps the door open for a few minutes while pouring glasses, that stability means the internal climate doesn't swing wildly when the door is ajar. It also helps the unit stay cooler on hot summer days, which is something a lot of reviewers don't mention but can be a deal-breaker if your kitchen runs warm. Let's get honest about the downsides. The first is size. While 24 inches is a common width for many cabinets, the height and depth still require a dedicated space. Think a tall pantry column or a spot next to a stove. If you live in a studio apartment with a compact kitchen, you might end up wrestling with the unit just to fit it in. The second is power usage. Dual-zone compressors naturally draw a bit more electricity than a single-zone counterpart, so if you're trying to keep your utility bill low, you'll want to weigh that against the convenience of separate zones. Finally, the blue LED is a taste thing. Some people love the ambient glow, others prefer a warmer, more neutral light. The LED isn't dimmable, so you're stuck with the color it ships with. Who should consider buying this? If you're a budding collector with at least a dozen bottles spanning different varietals, or if you run a small home bar where you serve both wine and craft beer, the ORYMUSE's dual zones and generous capacity are a clear win. It's also a solid fit for anyone who wants a freestanding unit that can later be tucked into a built-in space thanks to the reversible door hinge and the fact that the unit comes with a sturdy support frame that keeps it stable on a countertop or within a cabinet. People who enjoy entertaining and like to display their bottles will appreciate the glass door and LED lighting as a subtle decorative element. On the other hand, if you're just looking for a place to store a handful of bottles, or if you only drink white wine and don't need a chilled zone for beers, a single-zone cooler will likely save you both space and money. Also, renters who can't make permanent modifications to a kitchen might find the freestanding option okay, but the unit's height could still be a problem in a cramped setup. And if you're a strict budget shopper, the dual-zone technology adds a premium that you may not recoup unless you actually use both temperature settings. Overall, the ORYMUSE 24-inch dual-zone wine and beverage refrigerator feels like a thoughtfully balanced piece of equipment. The independent temperature control addresses the real need for